friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. It's called Culture Bucket. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Culture Bucket, Georgia and Alex.
Okay, hello everyone and welcome to Culture Bucket, the universe's greatest podcast, where two good, great best friends talk all things popular culture every single week, just about. And this is the 108th episode, meaning we have only 12 episodes now until episode 120, which is exciting. I am your host, George, and I'm here to talk to you today about all the things that I've been doing. And I'm also going to talk about those things with my co-host, who's Alex, who's also here. Hello.
Hi, George. Hi, everyone. How you doing today, George?
Hi. Good today, thank you. I had a big sleep on Friday after a very busy week. So I feel quite refreshed today.
Good.
Today being a Sunday. I had a big sleep yesterday, I think, as well. Although the rain woke me up. I'm in Manchester. It rains a lot. We had a very, 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 very hot week. I stopped wearing a jumper at work, which I haven't done in about 3 years because it was that hot. So I think last night it broke and it just poured down at about 2 a.m. and my bedroom window was open. That was good. Yeah. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
Yes.
The rain has finally stopped in Italy. I don't know if you've seen the floods that have affected my region. And yeah, it's been pretty bad, but it hasn't rained for a couple of days, so that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we've swapped countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Last week there was no rain here. It was horrible.
Crazy.
So, before we go any further, I'd like to remind people to please go and rate us and review us on every place you can, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you can do it in app, etc. It'd be really lovely to get some reviews and ratings in, and I'd like to read those out. And you can get in touch with us as well to tell us what you've been doing and what you've been watching, anything you'd like us to talk about. There's the links to do that, and find our email address and find our contact details, and go and rate and review us. And also buy us a coffee if you'd like to, are in the show notes. For this and every episode, you'll find a link to our link tree with all the pertinent links there. So please do go and check that out as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anything else? Any other housekeeping to discuss? I don't think so.
No,
cool. So today's a classic culture catch-up episode.
Yes.
We've got stuff to talk about that we've been doing over the past week or so. I don't have much, but that's fine.
Yeah, I've got a little bit.
Good. I've rewatched all of the Mission Impossible movies over the past couple of weeks. But
yeah, I saw your letterbox. I was like, "What is he doing?
Yeah.
Why are you watching?"
Well, A, because they're the pinnacle of action cinema, and B, because the new one is out like in a month, less than a month maybe.
Oh, do you think I should watch them? Because I think I've only watched the first two.
You should watch them. You should watch them, and we should do a top 5 Mission Impossible movies. Okay. I know you don't like Tom Cruise, but they are. If you're going to engage with any of his work, and also like the stunt work on those movies, like the level of talent going on behind the camera is crazy. I think you should watch them, and we could talk about them.
How many are there?
There's 6. The 7th one is coming out, but that gives us enough to do a top 5.
I don't know if I can watch 6 in a month. Do you think that's possible?
I watched
those 6 in a week.
I watched 6 in about a week and a half. So,
oh my god!
Hey, it's your call, but it'd be cool to talk about them. But I won't really talk about them here because there's not much to say other than that they're still brilliant. Yeah, except for the second one, which is just fine. They get better as they go along, and usually for a franchise, right? Like the first one is incredible.
I thought the first was really good.
Yeah, the first one is amazing. The second
first one was okay.
Is a bit weak. The third one is a mixed bag. And then the fourth one onwards, they just keep getting better and better and better. It's kind of wild.
Are they better because of the action, or is the plot also good and dialogue? Is it just because it's an action-packed stuff? Or?
No, not at all. Like, for example, the fourth one, I think the fourth one is the first one where, like, they realise that it's more entertaining for him to almost fail. Like, the second movie, Tom Cruise is basically a superhero. He's crashing motorcycles into other people. There's a bit where there's a gun lying in some sand, and he kicks it in such a way that it flies literally exactly vertically up into the air, and he catches it and shoots. Like, he's just acting as if he's Neo in the Matrix in that movie. In the fourth movie, like, for various plot reasons, he's kind of been outcast from his team. He's kind of out there on his own with just a couple of crew members, and he doesn't have all the resources he normally has, and things keep breaking and just barely working, and he just keeps on almost like... In the third movie, he has to jump from one roof to another using this huge thing, and he just does it perfectly, and he does a little flip into there. This fourth movie, there's a bit where he has to, like, swing into a hotel room through the window, and instead of perfectly landing, the top half of his body smacks into the top of the hotel window, and he spins around, and he almost falls out, and it's almost turns the action into a bit of physical comedy, like in a Jackie Chan movie, and it's more tense and exciting and interesting. And then the plots go back to focusing a bit more on the espionage spy side of things, and the dialogue is funny, the characters are good. No, it's not just the action. The action's incredible, but it works because you care about the characters, and it works because they're not just super people. They do struggle, and they almost fail, and then it makes it all the more sweet when they succeed. I think they're good movies. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Simon Pegg's in all of them, which is weird.
I was going to ask that. Like, how did Simon Pegg get into that?
He's all over them. When when Shaun of the Dead came out and it got really big, and he was doing interviews, and people were like, "What are you going to do next?" And he jokingly said, "I'm not well. I mean, I'll do whatever comes my way, but I don't think I'm going to go off and suddenly do Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise or anything." Boom! A couple of years later, he's doing Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, and he's gone from being like a small role in the third one to like one of the lead roles alongside Tom Cruise in like the fourth, fifth, and sixth ones. And he's good. And he did an interview recently where he said his friendship with Tom Cruise is very simple, and they don't talk about the thing. And that seems like what you'd have to do, I think, if you were gonna.
What his religious beliefs?
His absolute madness, yeah.
Okay.
His absolute unsanctioned lunacy, but that's elsewhere.
And the fact I've heard that he sends like a coconut cake to all his friends every Christmas.
Who? Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's desperate for people to think he's a normal man. So he'll be like, I'm a guy. I'm a standard average guy. Here's a coconut cake.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing a normal person does. He doesn't know, does he? He doesn't know what a normal person does, so he thinks that it's sending coconut cakes. He's bonkers.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Some people think I'm bonkers.
That's all about him.
The song was so good. Dizzy Rascal.
So, like I said, other than that, I've not got a lot to talk about.
This is culture catch-up time. This is where we talk about what we've watched, what we've read, what we've listened to, and probably some other stuff. Culture catch-up time.
What to talk about first? Thelma and Louise.
I saw that you watched it.
Yeah, I watched it in a cinema.
For the first time.
Yeah,
What?
in a cinema. Yes.
Why?
Because it's been recently remastered in 4K with a new picture quality, etc.
Wow.
And for whatever reason, it's a movie I'd never seen. Even though it's got a lot of like cultural capital as a film, it's just never sort of placed itself in front of me. But it's a movie with Ridley Scott behind the director's chair, which is obviously he's one of the greatest living directors. He's also sometimes one of the worst living directors, but not in this instance. And then cast-wise, it's just crazy. You got Susan Sarandon, who's perfect. Gina Davis, who's perfect. And then a cast of men, and I read a really interesting, not criticism of the movie, but like comment on the movie, in that like a lot of the men exist in the same characterization as women do in a lot of other movies, in that like Thelma and Louise are real people, and they have motivations and characters, and they're interesting, and a lot of the men are just like caricatures almost, or cardboard cutouts of real people.
Yeah.
in a way that is women are normally treated like that in movies. I think it's quite an interesting like flip on it. So you got Harvey Keitel as the like angelic detective who's convinced of the innocence of these two women.
Yeah.
Even though we know as the audience they're not really. I mean, what they did, it was. You can defend what they did, but as the movie goes on, they increasingly lose their minds. I think.
Yeah.
You've got Michael Madsen as Jimmy, who's like Louise's on and off, on again, off again partner. It would seem who's a bit. He exists on slightly the wrong side of the law. Christopher McDonald, who I didn't recognise while I was watching the movie, but he's the guy that's in like Happy Gilmore, and he's in a bunch of. He plays the bad guy in Flubber, which takes me back. He plays Thelma's husband Daryl, who is extraordinarily funny in this movie, and it's a really interesting thing. The basic plot of Thelma and Louise, if people don't know, is that these two women, Thelma, who's a sort of housewife, put upon housewife who doesn't have much agency of her own in her own life, and Louise, who's more independent, works as a waitress. They go off for the weekend, stay in someone's cabin. Everything falls apart when they decide to stop in at a sort of country line dancing bar, and they meet Harlan, who proceeds to attempt to take Thelma into the car park and sexually assault her, resulting in his deserved death. He's a piece of shit. And then the rest of the film is them on the run, sort of trying to work out what to do and not really knowing what to do, and just sort of realising that crime comes easier to them than they expected, but maybe escaping crime doesn't. So Daryl is it's interesting that Thelma's not escaping from an abusive husband in terms of like physical abuse or anything like that, but she's escaping from a husband who just is infantilized by her support, and she has no ability to live her own life as a result because she just has to look after this big baby man. There's a very funny bit at the start where he falls over, he trips on a bunch of planks and falls over. Apparently that just happened, and then they've kept it in the movie, which is great. You've also got Stephen Tobolowsky, who most people know as Ned Ryerson from Groundhog Day. Amazing. As an FBI agent, he's really good in this. And then, of course, Bradley Pitts.
Yeah.
As a little,
very sexy.
Bradley hunky Pitt guy, cast personally by Gina Davis, supposedly, who saw him and was like,
why.
Put him in my movie. There's a great bit where she literally pants like a dog when she sees him.
He's very attractive, though.
He's very attractive. And there's another very good bit where he just tells Daryl that he slept with his wife, and it's very funny stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
It's like that was like one of his first movies, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like he's very young in this film. So that's the movie. They're on the run for the whole movie. It's got I won't spoil it here because, you know, what if you haven't seen it? It's worth not knowing about. But it's got a very iconic ending, which is I knew about the ending before I watched the movie, and
but it's quite gripping, even if you know.
No, it really is. But I expected the movie to be like an action road trip drama film, which it is. But I didn't realize it was also a comedy. Like, this movie's hilarious. Susan Sarandon and Gene Davis are really funny all the way through, and every time it cuts back to Thelma's husband Daryl with the police, and they're doing a sting operation or something else to try and find them, it's hilarious because they're just bumbling idiots. I was expecting to like it, but I really, really liked it. It's like a masterpiece of a movie. And I was looking it up, like it really unfortunately came out in the same year as Silence of the Lambs, so it won I think it won an Oscar for script writing, and that's it. Because Silence of the Lambs just swept everything else up that year, and I love that movie. Yeah, so that's deserved. But it's a pity. Some years, like, there'll be no masterpieces that come out, and a load of nonsense will get all awards and Oscars and stuff. And then some years you get a movie like Thelma and Louise that deserves all the accolades that can exist, and it sort of gets slightly overlooked. But you know, it's been remembered for a long time since. Oh, and Hans Zimmer does the score. Hans Zimmer today, you know, premier soundtrack composer. Yeah, did Dune a couple of years ago. A lot of work with Christopher Nolan. This must be one of his earliest earliest pieces of work, and kills it. Apparently, I think the movie's got this really extended opening credit sequence because Ridley Scott just loved the music that Hans Zimmer was making so much that he put in this long opening credits to introduce people into the movie. And yeah, it's great. So pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Liked Thelma and Louise. I assume you like it as well.
Yeah, I love that film. Yes, I watched it a long time ago. Yeah, a few times. Yeah.
Good
film.
Next, I'll talk about TV show.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit. I've only watched 2 episodes of this so far, but I've really enjoyed it, so I want to point people towards it. It's the new it's not a whodunit. It's like a why done it.
Oh.
It stars Poker. It's called Poker Face. It stars Russian dolls Natasha Lyonne, and it's all written and directed by the master. Not why is Ryan Gosling in my head? Not Ryan Gosling. What's his stupid name? He made Knives Out and Glass Onion. What's it called? He made The Last Jedi. What's his name?
Go on the internet and check. You know me and names. I'm not very good with them.
Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
Ryan Johnson. All written and directed by Ryan Johnson. And Natasha Lyonne plays a character. She's called Charlie, I believe, who has a special skill that doesn't exist, whereby she can always tell if someone's lying. She's a human lie detector.
Wow.
And for the purposes of the TV show, we just have to buy into the fact that she is never wrong. She can't be fooled.
Okay.
She knows if someone is lying. We have to take that at face value.
Should have been in Parliament.
Yeah, episode 1 opened. Well, you know, you can tell if somebody in Parliament's lying by if their mouth is moving. So there's no need for her there.
Yeah.
So Natasha Lyonne plays Charlie. Episode 1 opens with her working as a sort of waitress in a hotel casino in Vegas. We find out over the course of the episode she works there basically because obviously if you can tell whenever someone is lying, you're going to be pretty good at playing poker. And she got on the poker scene. The owner of this casino discovered what she could do, and to kind of convince her to not bankrupt him and other casinos, he gave her a sort of permanent job that she didn't have to work hard at and got paid a lot of money for, kind of thing. Okay. So she's kind of been looked after almost in this casino, but that owner of the casino has now retired. The new owner is Adrian Brody, his son. And over the course of the first episode, basically, it opens with us seeing one of Charlie's friends, played by, I'm not going to be able to find, played by Dasha Polanco, who was in Orange is the New Black. She's a really good actress. Okay. She gets murdered in the first episode by... You see who kills her, basically. She gets killed by one of Adrian Brody's goons. And the rest of the episode is her sort of... Is Natasha Lyonne investigating and trying to work out why. It ends with her having to burn all her bridges in the casino and escape and run away. And then each subsequent episode, I think, is her turning up in a new small town or a new little location on the run. A murder happens. You see the murder. And then you watch her... The joy is in watching her Columbo her way through discovering who did it and why. And it's really entertaining. So the second episode opens with, like... a subway worker in this little tiny rest stop of a town in the middle of the highway wins the lottery on a scratch card next to a guy who just kills him to take the scratch card, and then Natasha Lyonne turns up and you see her sort of go through and solve the crime, and there's no mystery to it so much because you know what's happened, but it's entertaining. It's fun just to watch the cogs whir as she goes through and works it all out and stuff like that. It's really good. The first 2 episodes are really enjoyable. I'm going to watch more of it soon, I hope. I've been watching a lot of Succession this week because people.
Oh, I need to watch that. Is it good?
It's really, really good. It's
okay.
I've watched I watched the first season a while ago, and I didn't kind of keep up with it, and it recently finished, and people were going bonkers.
Mental,
over it.
yeah.
And there's only 4 seasons, so it's not a big commitment. So I'm about halfway through season 1 of that, so there's no point in me talking about it today, but that's why I've kind of only got through 2 episodes of Poker Face. But yeah, you should check out Succession, and maybe we could talk about Succession. It's pretty.
Where can you find Poker Face?
Poker Face and Succession in the UK are both on Now, which is where Sky and HBO programming ends up. So wherever...
so it'd be Sky in Italy.
Yeah, wherever you access that kind of thing, you'll find both of those shows there, and they are both good and worth watching. Yeah, now for a couple of big piles of shit. So, first.
Yeah, I saw your letterbox. I was like, I'm looking forward to talking about at least one of the films that you.
Well, first of all, the less interesting one to discuss we'll go with first. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
I've never watched a Transformer film.
Don't. Why would you? There's no reason to.
None of them?
None of them. No,
Okay.
actually, no, that's not true. You actually should watch, because it's great, Bumblebee, which is an 80s set spin-off that only really has one Transformer in it, Bumblebee, and follows Bumblebee as he forms a friendship with a teenage girl played by Hailey Steinfeld, who we know now as the female Hawkeye, and Gwen Stacy, and she's the best. That movie's amazing, really, really good. It's an outlier. The rest of the Transformers movies are terrible. This is the first movie that's called Transformers, not directed by Michael Bay. Michael Bay didn't do Bumblebee, but that's like a spin-off. This is directed by the guy who did Creed 2, which is, it's interesting actually, because the Transformers movies that Michael Bay made are terrible. They're really bad. But they're fascinating to watch. I've watched all of them at least twice, I think, because they are bizarre. They will have the strangest things in them. They'll have like weird, like racist caricatures of Spanish but robots who are like weird Spanish caricatures that are like bordering on racist. And this is a $200-300 million movie that a studio's agreed to finance, and they've said, yeah, that's fine, put that in it. One of the later movies has got Mark Wahlberg playing an inventor, which is already stretching belief. But he has a teenage daughter in the movie, and Jack Rayner, who's this really good Irish actor, plays her boyfriend, and he is older than the daughter. And when Mark Wahlberg challenges this Jack Rayner on this, he has a laminated little. He's printed out the legal age of consent and the rules around it in the state they live in, and he's laminated it to show to Mark Wahlberg as evidence for why it's okay for him to date his daughter.
That's creepy.
But why is it in a $300 million summer blockbuster? Like, the movies are not good, but they're weird, and they're entertaining in how just strange they are, because Michael Bay's mind is
strange.
It's not right. Creed 1 is an incredible movie made by an incredible director, Ryan Coogler. It's got one-shot fights in it that are stunning. It's got all these things that are stunning. Creed 2, you take away the auteur, you put in a workman called Stephen Capel Jr., and Creed 2 is a workable, perfectly fine sequel to Creed. Transformers: Rise of the Beast removes the auteur, Michael Bay, who is an auteur whether you like it or not, like he is a unique voice in cinema, and it replaces him with the workman, Stephen Capel Jr., who is supposedly, he's about the same age as me, and he's a Transformers fan growing up.
Okay.
And you end up with a Transformers movie that has all of the problems of the Michael Bay movies in terms of the action being kind of a nonsense, because you're just watching these big CGI robots smash into each other, and it has no sense of place or weight or anything. But it's because the person behind the camera isn't interesting, the movie has nothing of any interest in it. It's got no strangeness to it, no weirdness to it, no quirkiness to it. And as a result, it really is a movie where children's toys punch each other with nothing else. And it is bizarrely boring and bad. I did not have a good time with it. It's got one thing going for it, which is that Optimus Prime in this movie finally is sort of designed to look like how he looked in the original toy line and cartoons that I grew up loving, whereas the Optimus Prime in the Michael Bay movies looks like just nothing. So Optimus Prime is a big robot that turns into a truck. Optimus Primal is a big gorilla that turns into a robot.
Oh my god.
Why would you have a gorilla is basically a human being shaped thing.
Yeah.
He just transforms into a slightly more human being shaped thing when he turns into a robot in this movie, which happens for about a second. Like, this movie's got loads of Transformers and they don't transform. Anyway, the bad guy is Unicron. Unicron is as big as a planet, but he can transform into a robot that's, huge. But he doesn't do it in this movie, but he did it in the cartoon. He's going to turn up and eat Earth. They have to stop it from happening. It's set in 1994 for no reason other than they wanted to put Wu-Tang Clan on the soundtrack. And Beastie Boys and other things, and that's fine.
Could you not put it on now in 2023?
No, it wouldn't make any sense.
How can it not make any sense? You can put any music.
It's
whenever.
literally got a scene at the start of the movie where a young boy, the brother of the main character is Noah, played by Anthony Ramos. This young boy walks into the room. He's wearing a Power Rangers t-shirt. He's holding a Game Boy, and he slams the Game Boy down on the counter and says, "I just can't beat Bowser." And that is the most 90s moment in the movie. The rest of it could take place today. It's bizarre. In fact, it feels like it doesn't feel like it's set in the 90s. I swear all the time people have got technology and that it wouldn't have existed in 1984. So dull, so boring, such a disappointment. Can't believe that they did it. Why did they bother? And the biggest crime of all is at the very end of the movie, in their attempt to do like a Marvel style Nick Fury turning up and be like, "We've got the Avengers, da 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 da." They have a guy turn up and basically be like, "Hey, look, we're going to recruit you for this secret organisation we work for. Come and work for us, please." And Anthony Ramos is like, "No, absolutely not. And I don't know anything about any big robots. Leave me alone." And then it reveals, I'm going to spoil this. Skip 20 seconds ahead if you care about being spoiled on this. The guy works for G.I. Joe. So they're going to do a G.I. Joe Transformers.
Oh, it was like G.I. Joe versus Transformers.
I guess.
Kind of like, Batman v Superman. What was the other one? It was the Alien
versus Predator.
Versus Predator.
Yeah.
Great films. It works. Have you noticed?
No,
those
bad.
films work very well.
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
None
Definitely masterpieces.
So it's and Michelle Yeoh is in this, voicing a big robot falcon. Recent Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh.
Maybe she signed a contract and that's a film that she had to do.
Must have, yeah. Pete Davidson is in this. This is his level, though, to be fair. This is where Pete Davidson belongs.
Oh, come on.
No.
You said he was good in Bodies.
He is good in Bodies.
And then he was good in The King of Staten Island. I don't know how you say that thing. Well, you haven't seen the film, George, so you don't know.
Maybe I'll just watch that show he's made that's got the same plot as The King of Staten Island. Why does he keep remaking his own life story? Why do we have to have a TV show and a film about his life story?
Because it's tragic.
It's
because tragedy sells.
Well, it's the same. He did The King of Staten Island, which is his life story, and now he's done Bupkis, which is his life story. The same story, but in a TV show.
I don't know. He was good in Meet Cute. I liked him in Meet Cute.
Sure.
Come on, you started liking him for a little bit.
He was good. He was good when he crashed his car into that building the other month. Anyway, moving along. The final film to talk about today is relevant to next week's episode, because next week we're doing top 5 Batman movies. Mm-hmm. So I went to the cinema and watched the new Batman movie, The Flash.
Is it a Batman movie?
Yeah.
Is it? The Flash? Are they not two different superheroes?
Yeah, but this movie's got Batman in it almost as much as it's got The Flash in it.
Has it?
Yeah.
The Batman it's got 2 Batmans, Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, yeah?
It's got at least 2 Batmans.
Oh, are they trying to do a Spider-Man No Way Home kind of thing?
This movie has got the same plot as Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, God.
Barry Allen is a forensic investigator, works in Central City. He's a member of the Justice League. Movie opens with Barry Allen being called on by Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons, to go and help out at a hospital where some bad people have done something that's affected the hospital and it's going to collapse, and Batman is chasing down the bad people. Batman, played by Ben Affleck, in his best Batman costume so far. It's like a blue and grey one, like in the sort of the traditional comics and cartoons.
Yeah.
Barry Allen, so Batman's off chasing down the goons. Barry Allen the hospital's collapsing. The whole side of the hospital falls like that, and the top floor goes onto a slant. And at the top floor of the hospital is where they keep all of the newborn babies, and they all come flying out the window. And all these babies are falling to the ground with the nurse who's looking after the baby, who's just screaming. She's screaming. She's going, ah, like that for like 5 minutes, just screaming. A screaming woman is all you can hear. And Barry Allen slows down time. He doesn't slow down time, but he moves so quickly that time slows for us. And
Barry Allen is the Flash, yeah?
Barry Allen's the Flash, and he rescues all the baby.
Okay.
We learn later that the Flash, when he's moving really fast, he can't move other people very far because they will vomit when they start. Like if you got suddenly like 500 miles an hour, you got shoved any amount of space, your internal organs would be smushed up. So it's not as simple as him just like running up the side of the building and grabbing all the babies and bringing them back to Earth. He has to so he puts one of them in a microwave, and one of them has got there's a big oxygen tank that's spewing out flame that he has to put a shield. And he manages to line all the babies up and catch them and save them, and the nurse is still screaming. But the problem is that the special effects in the movie are so bad that at no point are you scared about the babies, because they look like demons. They look like tiny little weird plastic golems. They don't look like actual human babies. So it's just this awful weird scene of just CGI mess. The directors come out over the weekend and said that some of the scenes are meant to have bad CGI because when he's moving really fast, everything is meant to look a bit stretchy and plastic.
That's just what is
Shut
this
up.
cop out? Come on.
Shut up. People complain all the time.
That's ridiculous.
People complain all the time about the Marvel movies having bad CGI, and I've always just been like, some of it's uninventive, but none of it stands out to me as bad. None of it has ever taken me out the movies. If other people think the CGI in those movies is bad, that's up to them. That's fine. For me, it's never really been an effect. The CGI in this movie is atrocious. The movie looks terrible all the way through. So Barry Allen, his mum died when he was 10 years old. She got stabbed. His dad was blamed for it, so his dad's been in prison the whole time. There's a bit of security footage that could exonerate his dad that shows he was at the grocery store when the mum got killed, but he had a baseball cap on, he was looking down the whole time, so you never see his face. Big tragedy. Dad's still trapped in prison. Barry, he's so upset about it, he does his big flash run, and he runs so quickly that he starts to move back through time, and he realises, hang on, I could go back in time far enough to save my mum. What if I did that? So he goes all the way back, and he saves his mum. He makes sure that she doesn't forget the tomatoes at the grocery store, so that Dad doesn't have to go back later, and he can be there to protect her when whoever turns up to kill her kills her. Who kills her? Who actually did kill her? Who knows? None of us know. We'll never find out. The movie doesn't care. Doesn't matter. So he goes all the way back in time, and he saves his mum, and then he goes forwards again to where he thinks is current modern day, but it's not. He's trying to go forwards, but then a big weird demon appears and pushes him out early, so he ends up at the point where he should be 18 years old, and his mum's alive, and he's so happy. And then who does he spy out of the window? It's Barry Allen. There's two Barry Allens now. There's the Flash Barry Allen, who has. We know that Ezra Miller is the Flash Barry Allen because that Ezra Miller has short cropped hair. And then there's another Flash who's meant to be 10 years younger, 18, who looks the same, except this Barry Allen, Barry Allen uses he, him pronouns, but the actor Ezra Miller uses they, them pronouns. I've tried to respect that as much as possible. Barry Allen, who's 18, has long, wavy hair and the most irritating laugh that anyone's ever had. That's how you differentiate the two Barry Allens.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So they're the same person, but they have different laughs.
Yeah, and Ezra Miller, to be fair to Ezra Miller, they do manage to... I was never confused about which Barry Allen was which Barry Allen, even by the end when they're both wearing their own Flash costumes. And it's a bit... You can still... the performance kind of comes through. I don't think it's a good performance, but it's at least differentiated the two they are trying to do. Barry Allen quickly realises that it's General Zod is here from Man of Steel, because that's the time that Barry Allen has fallen into, and Superman should come and save the day, but where's Superman? He's not here. What are we going to do about it? We'll have to go and find Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne's my friend, and Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he can help us. And they go to find Bruce Wayne, but it's not Ben Affleck. What the hell is going on? It's an old man.
Yeah.
It's Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's there. He's got long hair. He's cooking pasta. He explains how time travel works by using spaghetti. And they are like, right, well, okay, you're going to help us. And Michael Keaton's like, absolutely not. I'm not going to explain why. I'm not a character in this movie, but I'm not going to help you. So Barry Allen goes, and he starts trying to work it out. And then Michael Keaton's like, do you know what? I am going to be Batman again. And he puts the costume on.
Oh, my God.
They find where they think Superman is. They get there. It's not Superman. It's Supergirl. Supergirl is going to help them to save the day from General Zod. Thing is, none of this matters because it's all happening in an alternate dimension. It's all wiped out by the end of the movie. Who cares? None of it matters. But the whole movie is spent dealing with all of this. And then we run into the Speed Force. We see a bunch of horrific cameos. I'm telling the whole movie, I don't care. We see these stupid cameos. We see George Reeves, who killed himself, is now ghoulishly raised from the dead to look like Superman. We get Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is brought in to play Superman for a second, fighting a big spider. If you know the story, that makes sense. If you don't know the story, it's just weird, stupid nonsense. Adam West is there. Christopher Reeve, again, ghoulishly raised from the dead to look like Superman for a moment. All of them smashing into each other. A load of big, stupid multiverse nonsense, but done terribly. Awful. Bad movie. Movie ends. He's managed to somehow save his dad. He's back where he should be. None of the stuff with Michael Keaton or Supergirl matters, even though they were the only two good performances in the movie. He's so excited to reunite with Ben Affleck now because he's saved the day and everything's been solved, and he goes to meet Bruce Wayne. And I'm going to spoil the big cameo at the end of the movie right now, so skip a minute ahead if you care about that.
Can I guess?
Go on.
Who? Like, give me a hint.
Well, he thinks he's going to see Ben Affleck because Bruce Wayne's come in, but it's not Ben Affleck.
Is a Batman, yeah?
Yeah.
Is one of the Batmans.
It's a Batman's.
Is it an actual performance of the Batman, or is it a CGI?
No, it's a man, and it's not Batman, it's Bruce Wayne, right? But it's an actor that we know.
That does Bruce Wayne? That
we have known to in the past do Bruce Wayne.
It wouldn't be George Clooney, would it?
It's George Clooney.
Oh my God! What?
It's the Silver Fox himself. He rocks up at the end of this movie and he says, "I'm Bruce Wayne," and Barry Allen goes, "Who the F are you?" And then the movie ends.
So do you think that... So clearly you haven't enjoyed the film. You didn't enjoy the film.
Rubbish. It's so bad. It's so boring and long, and the special effects are terrible. Ezra Miller sucks.
Yeah,
the stuff that actually is interesting, Michael Keaton, the actress that plays Sasha Calle, who plays Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, bring them back however you can. They're great. They have a small role, but they're really enjoyable, entertaining. They have the exact vibe that you want from a Kryptonian hero, you know, good stuff. Michael Shannon back as General Zod. I love, you know, all of that stuff is great, but none of it matters. It's all just, it matters as much as the 2 seconds you see Nicolas Cage as Superman. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Was Nicolas Cage ever Superman?
After Tim Burton stopped making Batman movies, he was going to make a movie called Superman Lives, and Nicolas Cage was going to play Superman, and it got cancelled. But there is a famous photograph of Nicolas Cage with long hair in the Superman costume, and there's a very famous story that Kevin Smith once told of a producer who was making that movie called John Peters, who insisted that he didn't want Superman to fly, and there was something else, and also he wanted Superman to fight a giant spider. It was really important that Superman had a fight with a giant spider. So we see in this movie Nicolas Cage, all CGI, Nicolas Cage isn't there, I don't think, fighting a big giant spider thing, in homage to that story that if you don't know it, it's just a bit of the movie that makes no sense at all. That is just nonsense.
Feels like this movie has angered you.
Because it's just cynical, bad rubbish. They've seen what Spider-Man No Way Home did, and they've gone, we're going to do the same thing. But, they put in the market, like, the director weeks ago was like, it was really good working with Nicolas Cage, it was so exciting to work with him. Why are you telling us that? Nicolas Cage is in this movie for seconds, and I swear to God you didn't meet him, because it's clearly a CGI, young, shiny face Nicolas Cage. So why have you spoiled that, right? So I don't care about spoiling this movie because they've spoiled it. Michael Keaton being in it, that could have been the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire of this movie. Yeah. Could have been a secret, but no, because they've got cold feet. They know that nobody likes their movies, so they had to announce Michael Keaton's in this movie. And then he's not, like, it's great to see him be Batman again. There's a bit where he says, "Do you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts," and it's great, but in the context of the scene, it kind of doesn't make any sense. It's just cynical people, producers insisting that this is what people want, and it is not what people want, and the movie is not doing well. And
But so when you spoke about it a few episodes ago, you said that when they showed it at, was it Comic-Con?
it was CinemaCon.
CinemaCon, it everybody was really excited
killed.
about
The
it.
CinemaCon audience loved it. Stephen King saw it in advance. Stephen King said, "I don't like superhero movies, but I love this movie." What? Tom Cruise saw it in advance and said, "This is what cinema needs right now. I love it." What?
Were they paid?
Tom Cruise. The weird thing is, this is a Warner Brothers movie. Tom Cruise is Paramount. He is all in on Paramount. He's worked with Paramount for years. He makes movies for Paramount. He has no specific need to be loyal to Warner Brothers. Yet here we are. He's for some reason come out and insisted The Flash is a great movie. Stephen King as well. I don't get it. It's not a good film. It's rubbish. It's so disappointing. James Gunn, who everyone loves, James Gunn, you're the absolute best. I love you. James Gunn was out here saying this movie's great. He's in charge of DC now, and we've learned now that means he's going to start lying about whether he likes movies or not. Because there's no way that James Gunn, who made Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and various other brilliant movies, looked at this film and liked it. Although maybe he did, because the cherry on top of the cake is they've now announced that Andy Muschietti, who directed this, is going to direct the next Batman movie as well.
What, the one with Robert Pattinson?
No, because that's now a spin-off movie. That's the other big crime, is that actual good film, the Robert Pattinson movie, is now being described as an Elseworlds film. So it's not set within the continuity of all the DC movies. It's set off in its own world, basically. It doesn't exist alongside the continuity of what James Gunn's going to be doing. So Matt Reeves is making the Batman Part 2. That is still happening.
Okay.
But it's not part of this. It's like if it was the MCU, it would be the Spider-Man animated movie. You know, it's not part of that. There is going to be a movie called The Brave and the Bold, which stars a grown-up, much older than Robert Pattinson, Bruce Wayne. That's not been cast yet. Maybe it's going to be George Clooney. What? Almost certainly not. Who is dealing with Damian Wayne, who's his son, who was raised by ninjas, and that's never been done on screen before. So that's the Batman movie we're going to be getting from Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti, who made It Chapter 1, which is a masterpiece, but then made It Chapter 2, which is terrible, and now has made The Flash, which is terrible. He's made 2 bad movies in a row, and he's getting to make a Batman movie, which is a rare thing to be allowed to make a Batman movie, and it shouldn't be. It's just...
Not good.
No, I didn't like it. I really wanted to like it. I wanted to finally be able to be like, I like DC movies. I wanted to be able to say that. And no. Not a chance.
That's a shame.
Mm-hmm. So that's the end. So Poker Face, Thelma and Louise, they're going to be my recommendations for this week. I'll repeat it at the end. Transformers Rise of the Beast, The Flash, Steer Well Clear. Rubbish. Load of rubbish.
Is it better or worse than Justice League?
Better, because it's got Michael Keaton in it.
Okay.
And it's got Kara Zor-El in it. But it's not 4 hours long.
Yeah, well, that film I had to watch in 3 sessions. Yeah,
it does have Wonder Woman in it, though.
What? The Flash has got Wonder Woman in it?
Gal Gadot's in it, in The Flash, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for that long.
Okay.
Yeah, but she ties up Bruce Wayne with the lasso of truth in it. And he starts,
Interesting.
Jason Momoa's in it.
Nice.
He's Aquaman 2 is coming out end of this year, supposedly.
Yeah.
And Blue Beetle.
I just don't understand why they can't be original with their stuff. You know, you don't have to create a universe like Marvel. You can be original and do something different.
Everyone loves multiverses now.
I understand, but they can't do it. They can't do it.
No, they can have a big CGI globe, and when you zoom in on the CGI globe, it's Christopher Reeve staring out. And that's a multiverse.
I just don't get it.
Christopher Reeves is dead, by the way. As is George Reeves. You know, they're both dead, but let's just shove him in this. Adam West, he's dead, but let's shove him in this as well. Yeah, load of rubbish. What have you been doing this week?
I haven't been watching any superhero movies. I watched a couple of films. One by one of my favorite directors, Hirokazu Koreeda. I watched his 2022 film Broker.
Oh yes, Broker.
Yeah, his second film outside of Japan. His first being The Truth, set in France with French actors and Ethan Hawke. And this one set in Korea, starring Song Kang-ho from Parasite.
The dad in Parasite, right?
He's the dad in Parasite, yeah. And it's set in Busan, in the South Korea.
Oh,
And
has it got zombies in it?
God, I want to watch that film again. Train to Busan. What a great film. And this woman decides to give up her child into a church box. So I didn't realize in South Korea you have church boxes where you can put unwanted babies in them, and they'll be kept in foster care until they're adopted or their parents come back. But she doesn't drop the child. She doesn't put the child in the box, but she puts the child outside the church. And this child never makes it into the care of the church. But Han Sang-gyun, played by Song Kang-ho, and Dong-soo, played by Kang Dong-won, take it, and they want to sell it. So this is their scheme to make money. Sometimes instead of putting the child into care, they sell the child.
Right.
And she finds out about this, the mother who put her child in front of the church, and she joins them into a road trip to find customers to buy this child. And in the meantime,
this is morally shaky ground that we're walking across here.
I know. And in the meantime, this kind of scheme is being followed by two detectives, female detectives. And this is the story. It's such a complicated film because by the end, you just love everyone, and
Right.
you just go, so Koreeda always does this thing about make-up families. So the group of the two men trying to sell the kid, the girl the woman that abandoned the kid, and then another kid from orphanage that they go to, kind of become this made-up family who love each other and get along, and you kind of fall in love with these characters, and you want them to be better, and you want them not to be caught by the detectives.
Yeah.
And you want them to succeed and maybe not sell the child. But because all of these characters, especially the made up family, kind of like live on the margin of the society, of like a Korean society. So they're all kind of crooks, but they are crooks because they haven't had the chances or the possibilities to be better people. They don't necessarily do the right thing, and it's such a terrible thing to sell children, and it's such a harsh circumstance, but you just don't know how to feel about it because you want them to do well. And it's a road trip movie as well. So they drive around and they do the things that people do in road trips, and you become very sympathetic with the characters, and you realize that these characters are so lonely and so lost.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. And it ends by not really knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And how Koreeda is going outside of Japan and being able to kind of grasp the society in that specific country and then create a film that is incredible, because The Truth was a really good film, and this one is such a Korean film, and with South Korean problems and issues, that he just understands them and makes you question and forgive why people do certain things. And to be fair, they are selling kids to rich families for adoption. So all the families, it's not that like selling kids inappropriately. Well, it's inappropriate to sell kids anyway, but they sell kids to couples that can't have kids and can't adopt, maybe because it's quite difficult to adopt. So and they vet the parents. So if it's kind of they call themselves the Cupids, the two men that sell the kids.
I'm sure that's
kind
what
of
they like to think.
Yeah. But it's just a wonderful and confusing film, and sad. And I really, really liked it. I think Koreeda is just an incredible director, writer, author, isn't he? He's just amazing. And so, I definitely would recommend watching this film.
Cool. Sounds challenging.
Wonderful. And then I watched the 2018 Ruben Östlund film, The Square.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, have you seen this film?
No, I've got it on Blu-ray. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time.
Well, I've been meaning to watch I haven't watched Triangle of Sadness, but I've heard it was great, and then I've heard this was great as well.
Yeah.
And so I found on Amazon Prime. And it's I think you might enjoy his films because they're quite surreal and crazy, and then some real insane stuff going on.
And Elizabeth Moss is in this one, right?
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss is in this one as an American journalist, and she's unhinged. She's really weird in this film. And it's basically it's set in a museum in Stockholm, and the art curator, Christian, is after like something happening, he finds himself, I'm not going to say what it is because the scene where the thing happens is incredible. And he finds himself kind of struggling in professionally and personally, and he's having a bit of a kind of crisis, and it kind of exposes him as not being the person that he wants to kind of portray. And whilst in the background this art gallery is exposing different modern art pieces, and there's this art piece called The Square, which is an installation which wants people that sees it to be more altruistic and trying to be more responsible people, and trying to, so once you're in the square you're all the same, and so help other people. In the background there's more, the PR agency of this museum creates a crazy video showing how out of touch some people are with current affairs and people. And it's just it's a very strange film, which I really enjoyed, because I sometimes with modern art I feel really, I like some modern art, but I feel that you need to people tell you how to enjoy a piece of art, while art is supposed to be enjoyed by you personally and as a viewer. And the film kind of like is a critique to the art world and the hypocrisy of society. You know, they're talking about being altruistic, this piece of art, but then there's people sleeping on the streets next to this piece of art, and how power attracts people and people abuse their power. And it's just a really funny, strange, weird film. It's got some funny performances, but I really want to watch Triangle of Sadness now, because I think as a director, he just does what he wants. And there are some bits that are totally like surreal, but then he makes them real. And I think it's a fascinating film. And
Cool.
The Square. And I managed to watch it in the original language, since everybody tries to dub this country. And then I watched 2 episodes of the new Sam Levinson series, The Idol, so you don't have to.
We talked about The Idol. We watched the trailer together, didn't we?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. And the trailer felt boring, unoriginal, etc., etc.
I watched it as well.
What? You watched the first 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about it.
Do we have to?
Very simple conversation.
No, I'm joking. We can have a conversation about it.
I mean, like,
it's rubbish,
it's just
Alex.
like, this is like The Weeknd's wet dream, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he wrote all of his own dialogue for sure.
Like, first of all, he's a laughable actor.
Because I've seen him described. Is he a nightclub owner? Is he an impresario? Is he a cult leader? Like, no description of the show can decide what his character is, let alone the show itself. But I've seen him described as all of those things.
Yeah.
None of them is good actor.
There is no way Jocelyn would have found that rat tail guy attractive in a nightclub with all the other people around. So it's also unrealistic. So Jocelyn is the main character, played by Lily Rose Depp, who she's a good actress. She
knows how to smoke a cigarette.
She knows how to smoke a cigarette, and she knows how to cry. And she has had a breakdown, and because her mother passed away, and it starts with that. And she has a group of yes people around her who also bully her into doing things that she doesn't want to do.
Oh,
and everybody.
Sorry,
what?
Can we just acknowledge that's not a new concept for a piece of media about a pop star?
There is nothing original about this series, is there?
Technically, that song about being a freaky little bitch is original in as much as it's a new song.
I'm a freak girl. Yeah, that song, I hate it now.
Because you've heard it 100 times.
Like, after 2 episodes, it's just like, enough. And
Blackpink, the girl from Blackpink's in this as well.
Jennie from Blackpink is in this.
Why?
Because she's an actual idol.
Yeah, why isn't she playing the idol?
Exactly. Well, because they wouldn't allow her to wear the clothes that Lily Rose Depp wears. She's always naked. It's so exploitative, in my opinion. Like, she doesn't have to be naked all the time. And it's just like, and then the scene in the second episode when The Weeknd, what's his name? Roger. What's his name? Treston, whatever his name is. And he just does this, like, tells Lily Rose Depp what to do in bed.
Tedros.
And just Tedros. Tedros, whatever. And it just seems like soft porn. And it's like, why do we need to watch that? Why is Lily Rose Depp putting herself into this position?
Yeah, but like The Weeknd said this week, it's meant to be bad.
Oh my god!
The sex scenes are meant to be bad, so you just don't get it.
I used to like this guy, and I now feel so. I just think he's terrible, and like there was an article on Rolling Stone about they changed directors, and 80% of the series was already made, and then they fired or somebody left. The director left,
and Sam Levinson took over.
And Sam Levinson took over, and then The Weeknd Abel Tesfaye tweeted a video of him as Tedros telling in I don't know what episode, saying that Rolling Stone is irrelevant, and he tweeted, "Rolling Stone, did we upset you?"
He says stuff like that all the time, though. He says, like, just empty nonsense. Like, in the first episode, he's like, "Oh, you think pop music's empty, do you? I think Prince would disagree." Oh, God. Are you seriously mansplaining pop music to a pop star?
Yeah, and so it just seems, and everybody doesn't seem to be enjoying being there. Like, everything is sordid, and it just seems like a sordid male fantasy.
Yeah, and there's good people like Rachel Sennott, who's in Shiva Baby and Bodies, 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 and
Yeah.
stuff, plays her best friend, plays Jocelyn's
Yeah.
best friend. She's a great actress.
Yeah.
Why? For why, I ask you?
Because
And
the project
I'm
started
going to
as
show you a
something
trailer
else.
for a movie that she's in. Like, again, she's good, Rachel Sennott.
Yeah,
What is
she's
she
amazing.
doing in The Idol?
But I think because the project started as something different, and it's just I don't know.
The second
it's
episode,
unoriginal.
the over half of the episode is them filming a music video for this song.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's nothing, it's not anything. It doesn't do anything. There's no plot point moved forward. You don't learn anything new about the character.
No.
Like, anything that you learn about Jocelyn or anyone else during that sequence, you've learned already in the first episode. It's just half an hour of just watching them do this choreography over and over again for no reason. It's empty, bland, disposable rubbish.
Yeah.
And The Weeknd thinks that he's made The Sopranos.
Yeah. It's terrible. But yeah. Will you watch a third episode?
I'm going to keep going, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I
want to
see if
what this is.
Yeah, I want to see if it gets any worse or any better. But at this point, it's just, I've just seen Lily Rose Depp naked most of the time. And The Weeknd being an absolute plank. And Hank Azaria, why is he making that accent?
I don't know. They said, Hank Azaria, stop doing a poo now. It's not okay anymore. And he went, okay, I'll stop doing a poo. And then they put him in this, and it's just back to being, I don't know.
No.
Hank Azaria, I don't know. I don't know anyone in this, why they're in this, why they're doing the things they're doing. The only person who's given a performance that I think is any good is Jane Addams, playing like her... I don't know who anyone is in this show. The woman with grey hair who's like, no, absolutely not. You're not doing that. And she's that could almost be, when she's on screen and she's doing things and interacting with Lily Rose Depp and stuff, that could almost be from something that's a workable project. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But everything else happening around it is terrible. Yeah. People like Dan Levy, who I adore. Dan Levy's so good. Yeah. Schitt's Creek is a mate. Like, what are you doing, Dan Levy? Eli Roth, famed horror auteur, maker of Hostel Part 2, all these movies, turns up as her Live Nation touring agent representative guy. Yeah. Why? Why are you in this, Eli Roth? What are you doing? Why is anybody doing anything in this?
I guess because Euphoria was such a big thing, and Sam Levinson is, loved by whatever HBO or whatever this thing is made by. This
makes me like Euphoria less, and it makes me less likely to watch the second season of Euphoria ever. Because I just think he's just obsessed with young women being naked, and it's gross. Yeah. How old is Sam Levinson? I'm going to find out how old Sam Levinson is, and if he's older than 19 years old, I think he's a right wrong one.
He is definitely older than 19 years old.
38. He's older than me. I mean, grow up.
Yeah.
Disturbed. Yeah. You were going to make me watch this for homework if I hadn't seen it.
No.
You were like, oh, you could watch a couple of episodes of the TV show I've watched this week before we started recording. I didn't realise you meant this.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry on watching it anyway.
I'm going to carry, because I think it's 5 episodes. I'm just going to, just to see how far this nonsense can go to.
When does he become a cult leader? Is that true? Or did somebody make that up? There is one scene in the second episode of him, like, commanding women to do things.
Yeah.
Or that's a behind the scenes clip of the director that they accidentally put in the episode. I don't know, but
oh my god,
just strange. Bad, it's bad,
strange.
Bad stuff.
Also, like, I'm sorry, but in that house, Jocelyn's house, is always empty. So we always her and her assistant. I don't think somebody of that caliber would ever be alone in her house.
Without security and stuff.
Without security, without like all the people, like,
well, she does have a security guy, like, at the gate, right?
Outside, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right.
Because usually people like that, like, they always have people in the house. There are always people in the house. Rarely a pop star will be a home alone. And she's always home alone, and she's always, like, masturbating and suffocating herself.
So that she sounds like she can sing and do other things.
And then I spoke about it. Let's move on. Much better series, and the last season of it, Never Have I Ever, season 4, the 8th of June, it came out. I watched it. I finished it. I cried. I loved it.
Oh, the second episode. Sorry, I know you're going to talk about Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
But while it's in my head, the second episode of Poker Face features a very good performance from, I think, Megan Surrey, who plays Anissa in Never Have I Ever.
Okay.
I really like. She was very good in Poker Face, and I was like, "What's this person from?" Because she's really good.
Yes, Anissa.
She's in Never Have I Ever. She plays like a goth girl who works in a petrol station. She's cool.
That's why probably she wasn't very... Because in the 4th season of Never Have I Ever, some characters, like, come and go very often. Like, and so maybe because they started, like, doing other projects.
Possibly. Although I think she probably was only on set for Poker Face for a few days. But she's good enough in it that I looked her up and saw that that's the main thing she's from. So yeah, awesome. What's season 4 of Never Have I Ever like?
Good, great. I cried the last 3 episodes. I think I cried every episode. Wow. And it's fun, and it's lovely because you see all the characters often coming back, and there are lots of things happening. And Devi, the main character, graduates with her friends, and it's really great. Mm-hmm. So I love Never Have I Ever, and I'm sad, but there might be more. You never know. I feel like there should be more. Like, I feel like they could go on, because she goes into a college. We don't know which college. It might be the college of her dreams or not. But it'd be nice if they followed her to college.
Yeah, cool. It sounds like a good. It sounds like something that you've really enjoyed, and I'm glad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and that spiraled to kind of like, I've been watching way too many teen series.
Have you watched the Outer Banks yet?
No.
Okay.
But I watched Exo Kitty.
I don't know that.
Oh my god! Don't watch it. You'll be ashamed of me.
Go and watch. And then be the canary in the coal mine for the Outer Banks, because that show looks like a mad teen thing.
Okay, okay, I'll watch it. And then I listened to a couple of albums. One that you sent me a text. You sent me a text the other night, and it came out in midnight. New Sigur Rós album, ÁTTA.
Yeah.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah, about 1.5 listens through I've had of it.
After 10 years, nothing much has changed. I enjoyed it. Is it new stuff that has blown my mind? No. Is it good? I liked it. What did you think of it?
It's good. It doesn't have much percussion in it, probably because their drummer left under a cloud of Me Too allegations. So they were a 2-piece for a little while, and now they've gone back to being a 3-piece, but instead of bringing on a new drummer, their multi-instrumentalist keyboard player, who left in 2012, has now returned to the band. So they're kind of a 3-piece band, but without a percussion section.
Yeah.
So it's the much more ethereal, orchestral side of Sigur Rós. And it is pretty great. I put it on the other night while I was kind of just lying in bed, pretty tired, and listened through it. And it's a beautiful 40 minutes of pretty gorgeous music. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to give it more listens, and I'm sure it'll grow on me much, much more. But like any Sigur Rós project, it doesn't hit you immediately, really, with any memorable... The whole thing is a piece of music that is beautiful. So yeah, I like it. I'm going to listen to more of it. I'm really glad that they're back and that they've done something together again.
Definitely.
It sounds like they've had a pretty tough decade, so well done.
Yeah. And hopefully, they'll come back with some more stuff that's a bit more innovative. And then the other album I listened to a lot is the new Janelle Monae album, The Age of Pleasure.
Yeah.
Have you listened to that?
No, I've listened to a couple of the singles, and if I'm being honest, I didn't particularly care for them, so I haven't really listened to it.
Did you listen to Float or?
I listened to Float once, and it floated over my head. And then I listened to Lipstick Lover a few times, which has got a very raunchy music video.
Oh my goodness gracious me! Yeah, that's like Sam Levinson kind of raunchy.
What are you doing?
Janelle.
But like both of those songs, especially Lipstick Lover. Lipstick Lover's like what, like 2 minutes long or something? Like they're very sort of.
It's a very short album.
Yeah, it's like half an hour long. So what's the project like as a whole?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I listened to it a lot because I really wanted to like it, and I like it. It's very different from her work before, so I appreciated that. And I think as an album, it works very well together. I like Float. I really like that song, and I think she's has evolved to have done something a little bit different, a bit more like with like lots of Afro beats, and it's I like it. I don't know if you're gonna like it very much, but it does flow nicely around throughout the album, and
cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I will at some point, but there's been a lot of music recently that I've like. There's a new Queens of the Stone Age album that I've been listening to a little bit and stuff like that. So I'll get there.
Yeah, and that's it for me.
Nice.
This week.
That's quite a lot of stuff you've been working away at. Well done. Okay, shall we move into our next section, discussing some of the homework that we...
Yes.
Cool.
Sit down at the back and be quiet and get out your book because it's time to discuss your homework. Now.
So, I watched the first episode of a show on Netflix called Sanctuary, which is... like you were saying, hard to look up online because if you forget and just type Sanctuary expecting it to come up, you're going to get that Margaret Qualley movie. But it's not that. It's a Japanese drama about a sumo stable and a young rebellious Yankee teenager who joins up in the hopes of making some money because his home life is bad. Right? Bad.
Very bad.
His family is... his dad and mum used to run a sushi shop, and because of his dad, it went under. And in a slightly, I don't know, I won't criticize it, but in a very extreme reaction to that, his dad is now a sort of old, incompetent, shaky man.
Yeah.
And his mum has become a sex worker. But as well as that, his mum seems to have lost all humanity.
Yeah. Totally.
Based on the first episode where her son discovers her in flagrante. Yeah. With another man, and he physically abuses her.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
How she doesn't care, and they're all it's very intense. So he's got his home life is tough. Yeah. And he doesn't really seem to have the skills or tools to deal with fraught and difficult situations. He tends to blow up, and so he's off during the days at these sumo stables, hoping that he can make the millions of yen that his dad owes in loans and debt and stuff, so that his mum doesn't have to, do what she does anymore, and all of these things. It's pretty well made. It's pretty. It's like it's a young adult show, I reckon. Right? Like it moves pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of energy to it. When you're watching the sumo wrestlers go at it, it's impactful. It's that stuff's well filmed. It's got a tone and a sense of humor that borders on infantile.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
I didn't completely gel with. There's a scene in the first episode where one of the more experienced sumo wrestlers does a big poo, and he tries to make the main character flush it away.
Mm-hmm.
Who the main character? No, he gets this. There's this boy at the sumo stable who's trained to be a sumo wrestler, but he's incredibly skinny. And there's a scene in the first episode where they're all eating breakfast, and all the sumo wrestlers are like, and then this lad is just like really daintily eating the rice, and it's like, you're gonna, you gotta get some energy behind you if you're gonna be successful in this game, mate. So the sumo wrestler makes that skinny guy wipe his bottom for him, which is gross. And then he tries to make the main character, whose name I don't remember, I'm sorry. I'll try and...
Enno. When he becomes a sumo wrestler, he becomes Enno.
Enno. He tries to make him break it up with chopsticks so it will flush, because it's too big. And he refuses, so the skinny guy just does it again. So I enjoyed the first episode. Oh, it's also got... There's a female reporter who wants to break open the sordid bullying she thinks is going on in the sumo world, and she tries to get Enno on her side, and he just basically makes some really misogynistic, awful comments to her and leaves. And there's a bit where she's like quite abrasive with someone, and somebody else is like, she grew up in America, so she's not. Yeah, she doesn't get that women should be just put up with being treated like crap. It was fun and entertaining. There's a lot of fun and entertaining things at the moment. I'm not sure that I'm going to carry on with it imminently. But I liked what I watched of it. I can see why you enjoyed it.
The first 2 episodes are quite difficult to watch because there's a lot of this kind of like childish, kind of crazy, unhinged, when he grabs his mother by the hair, it's just kind of like the relationship are really crazy. And then it becomes... better, like you can see like the evolution of the character, and so the first 2 episodes are quite hard to watch, maybe just because I wasn't sure the first 2 episodes because I was just a little bit too much. It's just a lot of like a caricature kind of thing, but I think that serves the purpose to the kind of development of the characters.
That's fair. If anyone's listening that like enjoys sports dramas or Japanese TV or anything like that, like or young adult dramas, definitely give it a try. It's good. And I might carry on with it at some point. So thank you for recommending it.
Good.
It's very loud.
Very loud.
Very loud show.
Yes.
What did you watch?
I had to watch Spider-Man 2 because I wasn't sure why I didn't like it. Spider-Man 2, the one with Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus, James Franco, and J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Who I really hate him here. And Bill Nunn, of course. Love him.
Oh, yeah.
And, Peter Parker's not a happy guy. Nobody seems happy in this film. I think that's... And he's been fighting crime for 2 years and everything is falling apart. And he's having problems with Mary Jane, MJ. Because he keeps not... she's become an actress and he keeps not showing up. And she's not happy, and because she's not happy, she gets engaged with somebody else. That's what you do. I'm not happy with you. I'm getting engaged to somebody else automatically. And he lives in in a terrible little flat. He's can't keep up with his work, his university work. He can't keep up with anything, and so he, and also the guy J.K. Simmons from the Daily Bugle keeps saying that Bugle keeps saying Bugle. He's a criminal, so nobody likes him.
Yeah.
But he has an opportunity to meet Dr. Otto Octavius through his friend Harry Osborn, played by James Franco. And this guy, Dr. Octavius, doesn't listen to Peter Parker when he says that maybe his fusion is not going to work. And then the fusion happens and it doesn't work. And Dr. Octavius gets fused with his like octopus tentacles and he becomes Dr. Octopus. And then everybody becomes happier with Spider-Man. Because when he does the fusion, then Spider comes out, saves the day, and everybody's like, "Oh, we love Spider-Man." And then
they have a big Spider-Man parade, right, with Macy Gray.
Yeah, and then he defeats Dr. Octavius. MJ finds out that Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire, is Peter Parker. She doesn't show up to her wedding. Just cancel the wedding. She doesn't show up to her own wedding. Yeah, doesn't show up to her own wedding. There's like thousands of like guests are there, and instead she goes to Peter Parker's shitty apartment, saying that she loves him and she'll always be there for him.
Because she's found out he's a super-powered Superman guy.
Yeah.
Screw him.
Yes. I didn't like it when I watched it. I think I like it even less now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Everybody is shit in this film. Everybody is not nice. There is not a nice character in Spider-Man 2.
Oh, May's nice.
Maybe Aunt May. She's okay, but she's like, I hate Spider-Man. Nobody's nice in this film. It's just too much for me. I don't like anyone. I just don't. Just like Peter Parker is in a slump and he lives in this shitty apartment. And just everything is bad. And I know I like bad, like films where everything is bad, but here's everything is just bad and everybody's hateful and nobody likes each other. And I don't like it.
The city likes Spider-Man.
After he has to save people from, from Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. He's a savior. They love him.
It just shows the and why does Spider-Man want to save people after everybody hates him for no reason? Then he goes back to saving people.
Because great power comes great responsibility.
But he could just leave the power, get MJ, become like a scientist, and leave everything alone because everybody hates him anyway.
But he can't because he let Uncle Ben die, and he can't let anyone else. His character.
Oh yeah, then he let Uncle Ben die, and then his aunt is not happy about it. It's like it's not his fault Uncle Ben died.
Yeah, but he can't tell anyone. It's good character work, I think.
I just don't know why somebody that is hated by an entire city and was one of the causes of Uncle's death, and he's losing his girlfriend that he loves. I don't understand why he wants to save anyone.
Because he's compelled to. He doesn't do it because he wants to be liked. He does it because he has to. It's his character.
He doesn't have to because these people are assholes. Why save them?
They're not. They're ordinary people.
They read the newspaper written by this maniac, J. Jonah Jameson, and they believe him.
Some of them do, not all of them. And then the bit where he saves them all on the train and his mask comes off and they choose not to reveal his identity. Does that not touch you? It's beautiful, that moment.
No.
Wow. I'm2
No.
Widely regarded as the best superhero movie ever made, Spider-Man 2.
By who? By you?
No, by everyone. Look it up. It's widely regarded.
Well, you won't like my top 5 next week.
Why? What are we doing next week?
Top 5 Batman.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I found everybody very hateful and very unnecessary hateful, and just there is no reason why he would want to save a city that hates him, in my opinion, from my perspective. If everybody was so shit to me, I would go like, go and fuck yourselves. Wow. I'm not helping you. I'm getting with my girlfriend. I'm going to work in a lab, and you can all go away.
No one else can. He's the only one that has the power to help.
What were you talking about? There is Batman in the same... No.
What are you talking
Spider-Man.
about?
No, sorry. There is, there's other superheroes.
Not in this world.
Fine. I didn't like it.
No, it's fine to not like it, but I'm just surprised.
And James Franco, he's a bad actor, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, the less said about James Franco nowadays, the better. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Alpha Molina's a good actor.
Yeah, I guess. In this film, I just didn't like anyone in this film. I felt like everybody, and I know why I didn't like it at the time, because I was just like, I don't get it.
Wow.
I don't like this, like a superhero is a superhero. If you want to, you're just giving up on everything to be a superhero, and you're not happy about it. So don't give up anything.
But then when people die, he'll feel responsible.
Well,
he could have done something.
It's their fault because they didn't want a superhero. They didn't believe in him and they hate him.
I guess, but that's the fundamental sort of character of Spider-Man. He's constantly putting it with J. Jonah Jameson being like, Spider-Man's a villain and he's a total menace, and he's still, because of what happened with Uncle Ben and everything else, he just still goes out there and makes a sacrifice and tries to help. What a good guy he is. Fair enough. So MyTube then.
Oh wait, I've got a top 3. I put a Instagram question out.
Okay.
And the guys from Film versus Film podcast sent their top 3, which top 3 Spider-Man movies, and I agree. And number 3, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, and number 1, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Wow.
Good choices.
Yeah, very good choices. All good films.
Thank you guys from Film versus Film podcast.
Yes, thank you. Go and listen to that podcast. It's a very good podcast.
Yeah, very good podcast.
Would you like some MyTube now?
Yes.
You can start with a music video. Do you have anything?
No, you already seen the Janelle Monae music video, and also be quite awkward to watch it together.
Yeah,
it's pretty raunchy.
On my own.
Yes. Oh.
So this is a video that my brother sent me, and he said, "I think you'll like this music video because it's a bit weird." And he was right.
And if it's weird, I like it.
I've watched it like 5 times now. So
of course.
Oh, why did I do that? No, ignore that link.
I don't know.
Just share my screen with you, obviously, like we always do.
Yes, please, George.
There we go.
So, George has shared his screen, and with Aldous Harding.
Aldous Harding, singer-songwriter from New Zealand, with her song The Barrel.
The Barrel.
The Barrel.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready for The Barrel.
Good.
Very long song, nearly 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Is it? So we are in sheets. Probably a pillow fort. A sheet fort. Okay, there's the singer with a dressed like a, I don't know what.
Like a Puritan or something.
A Puritan.
Like a Puritan.
And with this massive hat. Her face is insane.
She's got some dance moves as well.
Yeah, those are my kind of dance moves. Just arms and fingers. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think of her hat?
The hat is insane. Her face is really freaking me out. And now it's a full body thing and I don't know what she's doing. Okay. Those dance moves are insane. Okay. And those shoes are pretty crazy. Oh my god. I don't know if I like this. It's just too freaky. It's just a woman dancing.
What do you think of the song?
It doesn't match the video. Just if I had listened to the song before, I would have not imagined this music video. I love the dance moves. Oh, she's doing an Italian dance move.
Oh, really?
with the wrist.
Tiny maracas.
Yeah, those are tiny maracas. Yeah, it does feel like she's like just playing tiny instruments in her hands. So you have watched this video 5 times.
It's just compelling. And there's a twist.
Is there a
There's
twist?
A twist. You know.
Oh, is this a womb? Is she gonna be born?
I think that there's a whole. I was looking the song up, and apparently there's a whole. If you look at the lyrics are incomprehensible. But there's a lot of reference to eggs and other things, and people think that the song might be about the loss of a child, the loss of a baby, or something like that. It's so maybe it is meant to represent a sort of a womb. Look at her, what's going on?
So she's just smiling. So the words, what are the lyrics about? I can't really hear anything. I heard, look at all the peaches.
Yeah, look at all the peaches. Let me get some of the lyrics up. Hang on. It's already dead.
Oh my god, now her face is being covered by this...
show the ferret to the egg.
Okay, we're leaving the womb-looking place, and there's some stairs, I think. No, we're back in the womb. Oh my god! Oh! What? Oh,
What's happened?
The woman is now a blue thing that I can't watch. It's horrible. She's got a mask on. It's like blue and terrible. It's horrible.
So, it says on Genius.com, regardless of Harding's refusal to define the song's meaning, many people have theorised the topic is about childbirth or possibly miscarriage, given the multiple references to symbols of fertility and babies like doves, eggs, a date being set, death, and direct mentions of a child.
It's so weird, because if that's what it is, it does look like a tampon. Oh, it does look... Oh my god. Oh, the ending is sad.
Well, not yet. Wait for it.
Oh, it's not the ending. She's smiling. Okay, now she's dancing with some maracas in her knickers. Interesting. Interesting. There was a moment where she looked really sad. Yeah. So Aldous Harding. Interesting song.
Right.
Interesting video.
Interesting song, interesting video. I like it. I want to listen to more Aldous Harding.
Yeah.
Based on that song.
Defo.
Art. Real art, I think.
Real art.
A bit like the next thing I want to show you.
Poor Things trailer. Oh, I haven't watched the trailer, but I saw the little thumbnail this morning on YouTube.
Did you?
Yeah, so Poor Things trailer.
So this is the
a film.
trailer for the new film from Yorgos Lanthimos, who is the director of films like The Favourite,
Okay.
The Lobster, Dogtooth.
Mm-hmm.
This reunites him with the star of The Favourite, Emma Stone.
Okay.
And I won't say anything else. See what you think.
Okay, so it's in black and white.
Bella,
Oh,
this is Mr.
okay. So that's Emma Stone, and who's the guy that she's with?
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe with prosthetics.
Yeah, his face looks interesting.
And Emma Stone seemed to be a interesting girl.
But she is progressing at an accelerated pace.
Okay.
So we're seeing scenes in black and white, scenes in colour.
Yes.
Emma Stone seemingly is maybe a sort of a Frankenstein monster, possibly.
Maybe.
I am Bella Baxter.
But then the Doctor is more like a Frankenstein monster because it's got this weird prosthetics.
Well, yes, but he maybe made her. It seems like he made Emma Stone.
Yeah.
There's all these animals that are like a duck and a dog mashed together.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo's in
Mark
it.
Ruffalo's there.
Wow.
It looks
Okay. It looks insane. Oh, I've never watched any of his films. I should.
They're
really.
good films. The
Yeah?
Lobster. You should start with The Lobster. The Lobster is a really cool movie. And The Favourite's good as well, but the Lobster's something else. You should watch The Lobster. What do you think of that? Are you going to watch that?
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks like a Smashing Pumpkins video.
It does look like a Smashing Pumpkins video.
Yeah. What was the video? Was it Tonight?
Yeah, maybe it is Tonight.
Was that a video from Tonight?
Yeah. It's got the exact look to it. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would like to watch it. I think I'm going to watch The Favourite first and The Lobster.
Good.
Oh, so another trailer.
Yeah, last trailer I'm going to show you today. This is one I think that you will want to see. I think you'll
Is
like
it
this
set
trailer.
in a school?
Set in a school. It's about two...
Are there teenagers?
Yeah, two teenagers.
Yeah, so-
Two actresses that you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be into this, I think. Let's see. You ready?
Okay, so trailer for Bottoms official Red Band trailer. So it's going to be like teenagers being
A
unhinged.
little bit raunchy, potentially.
Raunchy teenagers.
You ready?
Okay, yeah. Oh my god, it's okay, you have to tell me the names.
Well, we were talking about her. She's in, hang on. We've got Io Edebiri from The Bear.
Yes,
and
from The
Rachel
Bear.
Sennott from The Idol and Shiva Baby and other things.
Perfect.
Get out of the car.
Okay. Oh no, they they run over a jock.
Practicing for a self-defense club.
Yes.
Yes.
Just stay in your lane. You're munching beaver at Weston.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wonder if it's like set not now, but in the past.
So we teach a bunch of girls how to defend themselves. They are grateful to us.
Oh, I love her. She's so good.
Yeah, she's
Because she's
Rachel
so
Sennott's
bad in
great.
The Idol. Like, I
You can be our club advisor.
You know, my mom did say I need to pick up a hobby.
Fight club.
Let's get it popping in this motherfucker.
okay, so they started a fight club.
They've started a fight club for some reason.
Yes.
To try and get cheerleaders to like them.
Yes. Oh my god.
To have a safe space like this, it means a lot to people. I'm gonna finally reverse stalk my stalker. Yes! I'm gonna kill my stepdad. Awesome.
Hilariously weird. We like weird stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially the hot ones. Men need therapy.
Are you cheating on me? No! I literally saw you yesterday.
So nerd,
What?
We are literally at
It feels like Pitch Perfect, but with Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pitch Perfect Fight Club.
They deserve a shot at showing everybody how fucking cool they are.
And a little bit of, what was that film that I made you watch with the roller skates?
Whip it.
Whip It.
club to get some coochie. Hell, ain't know how to work that thing. I know y'all ain't tickling the pearl.
I just don't know if you're supposed to be talking to us like that, just like as a teacher.
Great.
What do you think of that?
I want to watch it.
Yeah, I thought you would.
100%. Yeah.
I wouldn't show you that horror trailer that came on after. Turn it off now.
No. No, thank you.
Yeah, man. I think Bottoms looks really fun. I think Poor Things looks... That might be awful or good, I don't know, but Bottoms looks like it'll be a fun, good time.
Yes.
Go and listen to The Barrel by Aldous Harding, people, if you haven't done, watch the video.
Yeah.
Show the ferret to the egg. What's your big recommendation? I know my big recommendations this week are
Yes.
Thelma and Louise and Poker Face. Both very good things. Go and watch them if you haven't seen them. What are your recommendations?
Recommendations, Broker and Never Have I Ever, season 4.
Never Have I Ever. Again, maybe the
Watch
third
it.
time it's been your recommendation.
Watch
possibly.
it. It's so good.
Good.
You never watched it.
I will one day. So, here we are at the end of the episode. It's been an absolute pleasure and a delight to spend time with you again. Thank you for listening. Go rate and review us. Go and tell your friends about us. Get people listening. We'd really appreciate it. Speak to us. Let us know what you're doing. And join us next week for our 109th episode, which will be our top 5 Batman movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. So, yeah, that'll be good. Can't wait to talk about that. The Flash will not be in my list, despite it kind of being a Batman movie.
I was looking at lists for the top 5, and The Flash is in it. It's like, why? It's not a Batman movie.
It is
a Flash
kind
movie.
of a Batman movie, but it's not a good one.
Okay.
And there's only one Flash. You can't do a top 5 Flash movies because there's only one.
Yeah.
And maybe, if we're lucky, there'll never be another one.
Ezra Miller was at the premiere.
It's the first time that they've been in public for a very long time.
Yeah, and they should not be in public.
No, they should not. But whatever. It's Warner Brothers are making weird choices about how to deal with that person. So, thank you for that. It's been a pleasure. I'll touch you again in the future. Goodbye. Love you. Bye, 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 bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, no, stop.
Oh.
Homework.
Oh.
Did you stop recording?
No.
Good. So you need to watch. No, do we set homework? No, we set homework next episode, don't we?
Yeah.
So stop. Shut up. Okay, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.